Hi YouTube. I'm Robert up in central Scotland. On this hangout with me, we've got Kirk Bryson. He's from Lothian, which is the east side of Scotland.
Yeah.
And we've also got Leigh Harris, who's way down south in Penzance, I believe, in Cornwall.
Penzance. Lovely sunny day today, Robert, in Penzance.
Lovely sunny day, is it?
Awesome weather.
Yeah, we spoke about that earlier.
Not so good here in Scotland anyway. A bit blustery and cold, a change in the weather compared to what it has been anyway.
Yeah, definitely. We're back to blue skies now. So listen, the weather's meant to happen at the end of these sort of shows, not right at the start of them.
I know.
We've got Colin here to do the weather later on. He'll stand up like with a weather map and stuff.
Weather girl.
And we'll make sure we'll make sure that the Scottish part of the map's bigger than the English part, you know. So
we got a green screen for them.
Say again, mate.
We'll have to get a little green screen for them.
It's only Hangout 1. We'll see how it goes on Hangout 2. Right, so I was, we were going to discuss at the start about the cladding issues. I mean, Kirk hasn't heard about them. Leigh has. Yeah, so there's 34 tower blocks that have failed safety checks on fire tests on the cladding throughout 17 local authorities, which I believe are just in England. I don't think it's Scotland, Wales, and Ireland as well. There's been a huge evacuation. Thousands of people evacuated, apparently, from an estate in Camden called, bear with me, it's Chalcott's estate. 650 homes evacuated. 83 households have refused to leave their homes. The council have warned they'll be forced to leave because the building is not safe. Thoughts?
Well, are these buildings the same sort of age, are they? Is it the same time scale that they were built in?
It doesn't have details on the age of them. It's just a quick scan of the story there. I mean, in Falkirk, there's, I think it's 7 or 8 tower blocks in Calendar Park. In the last few years, they've been completely revamped. They're 14-story flats. The lifts only went to the 13th floor. They've now extended that to the 14th floor, given all the houses permanent hot water, and done cladding on the outside of the building, on the outside of all the buildings. So is this cladding up to spec,
Well, looking at that documentary that was in the 80s, was it 1983 or something, about those Grenfell towers and flats like that, they were saying that they were actually a fire hazard and putting any sort of cladding over the top of it. So I suppose it just depends.
What's it like round your way, Leigh? I mean, is there a lot of high-rise flats?
No, there's nothing around this way, to be honest. A lot of social housing, but no high-rise flats. But the interesting thing about the people being evacuated, as I was telling you earlier, one of the interviews with one of the guys who was told to evacuate, he said he wasn't going to go, he was going to stay, because since the new cladding had been put on his tower block, there had been 2 fires, and not one of these fires had spread. There had been no issues, they were contained. They did what a fire should do on a tower block. So he was of the belief that it's all a load of fuss over nothing. Now, I know obviously Grenfell went up, and the main blame is on the cladding at the moment. But it's just interesting hearing little stories like that, it does make you wonder whether that was the cause or not. But of the people that have been evacuated, I'd question just how many are actually going to return to these tower blocks. And there's a big issue about social cleansing, particularly from that London borough around Grenfell, where you've got the different social classes so close to each other. And that there was some reports that Grenfell itself was supposed to have been demolished a while back, but the application didn't get accepted. So, it's an interesting one. I mean, have we has there been an investigation that has said 100% it was the cladding that caused the spread of the fire? Because if there is, I've not seen it yet, but I'd just be interested to see if that's come out in the media yet. I know it's a lot of speculation, but has it actually been clarified? Does anyone know?
I think it's more a case of putting two together and getting four. I mean, when you saw the fire erupting, how quickly it erupted, it was from the outside, from the cladding. Now, the only other way it could happen that way, I guess, is with an accelerant. You know, with some sort of accelerant down the outside, because that would make it go up like that as well.
Yeah. It seems really weird, the whole scenario with this towers sort of thing. They've been very, very sketchy on the information that's been coming out, and it just seems to be just letting it go further and further and further on before they're releasing anything else about survivors or anything to do with it. I'd certainly keep an eye on any information that's coming out about these tower blocks, because it seems to be something not right in the whole thing. No, just the fact that there could be fire hazards in general. It just seems pretty strange, the whole scenario.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, there's something obviously not right about the whole thing, and about this follow-up response as well. It's all. I was saying to Robert earlier about the timing of it, and you know, obviously it's no conspiracy that the building burnt down, but timing of it straight after the election was a little bit suspect within itself. I mean, at the end of the day, we just don't know, but it's interesting to discuss, you know, the possibilities.
Sorry, if just excuse a second, I'm trying to. Ken's just sent me a message saying that he wants to come and join, so I'm just sending him an email to let him join us.
Yeah.
So, but carry on.
And especially since hearing about their insurance, it was a bit of a Larry Silverstein about the whole job scenario when just swapped insurance companies from Zurich to some other company, because the other company gives them up to £1 billion payout if there was any casualties fire in the flats, when the insurance policy before didn't actually account for that on the policy. So it's strange, 3 months before all this happened, another scenario where, I mean, this is just total coincidence, and these things can happen, as we know. It just seems all pretty strange, to say the least.
It is. Yeah, there's something very 9/11 about it all. Yeah, like you're saying. Yeah.
It's I mean, that is too early to speculate. You know, we don't have information. All we have is what we see on the mainstream media and the pictures we see and the reports we hear from witnesses. You know, but it's been the most real thing that's happened recently. Anything else that's happened has been orchestrated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're scared to talk about Manchester because you talk about children died. You know what I mean? You're in the wrong because you think it didn't happen the way they said it happened. I don't say children didn't die. You know, children probably did die. I mean, Leigh and I discussed it, and there was probably a lot of crush victims and things. But where was it going with that? Sorry. The fact that somebody blown himself up. I've seen suicide bombers, you know, on YouTube. I've seen videos of them blowing themselves up. I've seen the devastation caused, the damage caused to property and people and body parts, and you know.
Yeah, it's harder to talk about these events when they're so close to home, and maybe, you know, they pull a bit more on people's heartstrings when they're, say, close to where people actually stay and they're involved with this type of story. So there seems to be a stronger response on social media about these events where, you know, they can believe that other things are orchestrated and stuff like that, but when it comes to things closer to home, it's like, no, or something kind of like, this happened and this happened. everything, they seem to tend to go, oh, this is all matter of fact, instead of looking at it critically, really, sometimes.
There's a lot of pointers, you know, especially with Westminster and London Bridge, and they both screamed of false flag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's people are just saying, no, it isn't. It's terrorists. You have to hate Islam. These people are really bad and they're trying to kill us. And it's like, no, they're not. And they're saying, but white people are now doing this as well. You've now got white extremists trying to kill the Islam. You know what I mean? The Muslims.
I think the main thing I seen with the London thing before it even sort of knew if it was a false flag or whatever was all these events. It seems to be pretty much the event happened and then there was a blooming walkthrough with some cameraman kind of panning the set up bit to bit. You know, it looked all too it's like
here. Have a look at this. Have a look at that.
It was like A B C D. You know.
Hold on, I'll hold the camera still for you.
Yeah, it's like
must have been Michael J. Fox on camera.
Yeah, totally. It's come on.
Shut my mouth. Leigh, you're awful quiet. Are you away making a cup of tea or something?
No, I'm still here, mate. No, I'm just listening to you. Yeah.
I'm just checking.
I'm here.
And
so no, I don't know if this evacuation thing is actually a distraction from Grenfell. You know what I mean? They evacuate all these people and they rescue all these people. And remember, your government's strong and stable. They're going to look after you. Evacuate all these people, look after them, give them a bit of money, say, listen, there you go, really apologize for the inconvenience. There's some money. There's a new house. Where are they going to come up with these 800 houses? Or 650 houses, whatever it is. Where are they going to come up with these?
Well, exactly, yeah.
I mean, I'm applying for a house just now. Sorry to interrupt you, Leigh. I live in social housing. I'm trying to move into larger social housing because my children are of an age where they need their own room. And I can't get a house. If I apply for a house, for me, there's 30 other people applying for the same house.
Yeah.
So how can they evacuate 650 homes?
Yeah, at the moment.
No problem. What are they doing? Putting them all in hotels?
Well, that's what they were saying they were going to do. They said that they've got hundreds of hotel rooms still available. But how long can, like you're saying, how long can they stay in a hotel? And I'm dubious that they're ever going to return to these tower blocks. So where will they go? And like you say, there isn't the housing available. But I mean, on the issue of it being a distraction, we've got to remember as well that, you know, the Twin Towers and Building 7 did collapse. And there was no doubt people inside them that did die. So, you know, I know there seems to be a logical explanation with this cladding, but then again, you know, I wouldn't put it past, you know, the people in charge to do something like that. I mean, just the way that they portrayed the firefighters as well, that reminded me of 9/11. The way that they held them all up on a pedestal. There was a lot of imagery that was exactly the same that we saw back in 2001.
It was a bit strange how they fixed it. It was a bit strange that because I watched the treating them like a hero, you know, they were driving out, they had the seats all laid out so the fire engines had to drive between everyone sitting on these seats and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, it was very God bless America, and you know.
That's it. And the coverage as well, but I mean, I don't think it was an entire day's live coverage, but certainly it was the whole morning and well into the afternoon as well. And you've got to think, who really wants to watch that kind of coverage? Who wants to watch a building burning for 8, 9, 10 hours? I mean, fair enough.
The initial story,
yeah, fair enough. Do the coverage in the morning and say, look, here's the building on fire. We're live at the scene, but then give us an update later because there's nothing that could be done. So then we saw some kind of voyeurism coming into there as well. Obviously, we were meant to watch it. We were meant to see, which seems a bit like symbology as well. This big tower in London burning. It's like burning like a big torch. There's a few things going on there that just don't make it seem like a normal tower block fire. But then all this talk about the cladding and then getting people out of their other towers. There's something very bizarre going on. It's not as it seems, I don't believe.
Time will tell. We can sit and watch over the next 6 months or so, and I mean, I don't see myself as any sort of investigator or anything, so I rely on other people who investigate these things, and it's good to hear their perspective on the matter.
Yeah.
Especially from local people anyway. But it just seems all very, very convenient. We can't really say anything too much about it. I think it's too raw and people at the minute, but we've just got to take this stance. I think we've all have our own views on what's went on a little bit. But there's certainly something about it.
I think you're getting feedback, Kirk. Or is it me?
Yeah, I heard it as well.
Yeah. I was going. Well, there's nobody watching just now, so while nobody's watching, I was going to try the screen share thing and see what it does. And occasionally I can read what it says, and occasionally it reads kind of Russian stuff. I have no idea what that is. But I think I can do this and this.
Yeah.
Are you seeing my screen?
Yeah, I'm seeing you.
So if I go like this, or like this.
What should we click on the?
Yeah, need to watch out for the midget porn. Right. Sorry, shouldn't have said that. That was in bad taste. So there's a wee story on Grenfell Tower. Is that playing?
Alexa, reorder
Yep.
face cream. Okay. Alexa, turn on the dog walker.
You have to sit and watch Alexa for 30 seconds.
So you've managed to get adverts into your broadcast.
Yeah. I wonder if I'll get paid for it. I never thought about monetizing this. We should have seen if we could make any money out of it. So is that streaming in real time?
Yeah, but if we talk, it will come on the screen.
Right, we've had fire brigade here all day, Peden Council, police. I had a fire safety check done today. Why have they left it till 8:30 at night to start getting residents out? Where do they think we're all going?
Ever since the tragic fire at Grenfell, we've been doing everything we can to check the safety of our blocks. On Wednesday, we were first in the queue to check the cladding on our blocks. What we found was that while the insulation was safe, the external cladding was not up to the standard that we wanted and was not fire retardant. At the end of the day, they told us that they could not guarantee our resident safety in those blocks. And so I've made the really, really difficult decision to move the people living there into temporary accommodation while we do the urgent works to guarantee safety. I know it's difficult, but Grenfell changes everything, and I just don't believe we can take any risk with our resident safety and have to put them first.
So, I've lost you. Here's the. I don't know how to get back to the hangout. Oh, is that still playing?
Before 1 o'clock on Wednesday morning, an inferno broke out in the town block.
Right, I'm lost here.
Oh, sharing the screen.
Right, there we go. I've got a hangout, but.
That's your back.
That's weird. I'm watching on video. I can't find the hangout though. There he is. live streaming.
Technical issues.
It's saying I've got offline.
No, yeah.
Hmm.
This is your email.
Say again? All right, I found you. Hello.
Hello.
Whoa.
You.
Did you lose on there, man?
You're still screeching.
I know. I've just seen that. I'm just trying to get rid of what's. It's just that one. I don't want to shut that up.
But yeah, half screen.
Stop. There we go. Right. Is that it? Stopped. There we go.
There you are.
Right, that was a bit difficult, but that's fine. So when I click that, I can go on. I can go on to Google. I can do anything on the PC basically.
That's quite handy.
Aye, definitely. So if they're saying that there's these tower blocks are that dangerous, right? Now, it's not like this is the first tower in Inferno there's been. Now, as far as London goes, they had one, was it 2 years ago in Camberwell? Then you've got the ones abroad. If you look at Dubai, where were the other ones? There were some massive ones. I mean, if you think about the ones that you've had referenced with 9/11, and I've got, well, these buildings have burned for 24 hours and haven't fallen down. These ones are built. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of them.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole perfect treatment.
So the dog. Tell me that grin it was. Aye, so the towers, if they're now saying, oh, right, it's happened in the UK, so it's unsafe, are they now saying that all tower blocks are unsafe and they're going to have to knock down all tower blocks?
No, I wouldn't have thought so, because other tower blocks go on the fact that the flats are able to be sealed, and it's normally, if a fire goes off, it's normally you see the one flat that's burned out, and then the fire brigade and stuff normally tend to be able to put the fire out or whatever. The flat might be wasted, but normally it doesn't really spread to the whole block, unless it was something bad. But I think that was quite unusual for a block over here to go up like that. So.
And it was supposed to have been started by, was it a fridge that had malfunctioned or something? That's the story that I'd heard.
Yeah, a hot point, seemingly.
That was it, yeah. So that happens inside one of the apartments. And then the fire, I guess they're saying, somehow got out of the window and went up the side. I mean, and again, because people have said they've got this cladding, this exact cladding on their tower blocks, and they've had fires in apartments and nothing happened. It's that they went through the procedures like Kirk just said, where it's self-contained. So I'm just wondering how this fridge one would have then.
Hi, John.
My mate just crapped himself.
I'm sitting in poker when.
What they're saying about the cladding.
Say again?
What they're saying about the cladding, that wasn't protected. We went for the money or something on the cladding, because people are noticed on Facebook. I think one of the tower blocks that had just had the cladding put on it, the people actually went up and ripped a piece of the cladding off. Spent a few hours staying fire, and it didn't go up, it didn't go on fire.
Now, funny you should say that, because the day after Grenfell, Sky News had a laboratory, they had a piece of the cladding, and they set it on fire, at 700 degrees, and it burned. Well, it started melting, then it burned. You know,
That's where
it's
the
awful quick to get that arranged.
wasn't fire protected.
Yeah. If they'd spent an extra, whatever it was, £5 a sheet or something like that, it would have been fire protected.
That's it.
Right. So when you say,
It's been
when you say social housing around you, Leigh, are you talking estates, or are you talking council houses and streets and things?
New estate. We've got a lot of new builds, so we've got a lot of private housing association, actual houses, semi-detached, on small estates. So we've got no high-rise because it's a fairly new area in itself anyway. It's obviously built with all the new modern housing, which is pretty poor in itself anyway. It's supposed to be maintained, but I mean, I think that any standard of maintenance for social housing, I mean, our houses are 10 years old, and we've got a carbon monoxide alarm that's got a sticker on the inside of the casing because it went wrong recently. So I took the casing off, and there's a sticker on the inside, and it said replaced by 2010. So I mean, that, and it's because you don't expect these things. You think social housing is going to be a little bit better than private, so all these safety things can be kept on top on by the the contracting companies. Our fire alarms, when I took the shell off to replace a battery recently, that said replaced by 2010. Now, it's still the landlord's responsibility to keep those things maintained. And okay, there's obviously personal responsibility on the tenant as well to sort of keep an eye on things. But if this is in my house, all of the houses on these estates that were built at the same time by the same company and now owned by the same housing association, they're all going to be the same as well. So I think we've got some pretty poor standard of housing, social housing. I think there's a massive problem, not just with the cladding on the tower blocks, but even with modern buildings, we've got these issues going on. And wasn't this one of the things that the Conservative Party apparently voted against a year or so ago, that was brought up in the media recently, to hold landlords accountable to make sure that all properties are correctly maintained, they're all habitable, and they all reach a high standard of safety, and it was rejected or something.
Yeah, you're correct, Adam. They all voted against it.
Yeah, that's what I thought I heard. So I mean, it's very, very strange things going on. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about it, to be honest.
I think if we put it in this perspective, it's just a case of the people just being totally ripped off. As per usual, it's not nothing strange about it.
I see Jeremy Corbyn appeared on the Glastonbury today. Said a speech mentioning the elite for some reason. I can't remember what it was. I never had time to sit and watch the whole thing. But he said the elite got a surprise by the result of the election. Normally don't refer to them in that way,
Well, no, it surprises me people's support for, not just for Corbyn, but for any political leader or any political party, because if Corbyn and his Labour Party had been voted in and they were the government, his government and him are still going to be controlled by the same banking systems. They're still going to be controlled by the same corporations. They're still controlled by all the influences above. And it's a bit like when we saw Trump get voted in. Everyone said, "Oh, Trump's going to change everything." Trump is saying the things that we're thinking. He's going to be a revolution, in our leadership. And of course, as soon as he gets in, he backtracks on everything because it's not these people controlling anything. So I think it would have been a good thing if Corbyn had been elected, because then people would have seen, hopefully, just how much they're not in control and how things change once they get elected. But then again, I don't know. People still think it's real. They still vote. But there you go.
We're told that it's a ward, You know, each constituency is a ward. You keep patients in a ward, don't you?
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah. And apparently when you vote, you're basically saying to them, I'm not capable of making decisions for myself. I need you to make decisions for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a joke, but I think we live in a kind of hope. I voted there at the election. I can't deny it. I mean, you know, I'm voting SNP all the way, and I don't think they're much better either. Like, even Kirk sitting there grinning like a shut It's a joke. The whole political thing's a joke.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I think when we come to the truth to what we sort of believe in anyway, and what we know now, I think we can just see it all from what it is. It's just all just a joke and control that kept over us for generations and generations. These people who are in control of the land and all of the resources in the world. So, yeah, I don't think it helps at all.
No.
So has anyone got anything they'd like to bring to the table to chat about? Leigh, you wanted to discuss men in shorts, didn't you?
Scott, yeah, I love it, mate. I love it. Bring it up on your screen. Let's screen share it.
Okay, hold on. I'll go and get it.
Yeah, the protest, the boys wearing the girls' skirts. I think it was, I can't remember, what was it, Essex or Exeter? It's somewhere down south, anyway, around this way. And it was so hot one day, and the policy of the school didn't allow them to wear shorts. So they decided, sod it, we're going to have a protest and we're going to wear girls' skirts. And it was all over the media, and everyone thought, oh, brilliant, you know, this is fantastic. What people are failing to realise is this is exactly what the establishment is looking for, this sort of thing to be encouraged. Because I was a primary school governor for a couple of years, and the things that went on were unbelievable. That children, and I mean, they're between the ages of, 5 and 11 for primary school. They were encouraged in their social lessons, or the boys, to dress in girls' clothes.
Here we go.
They were encouraged to explore their gender. I mean, what the hell is that about? And when children leave a primary school and they go to secondary school, that's when they usually declare, or they come out as being gay, or it's then discovered that they're transgender or whatever. But when an ex-pupil of the primary school leaves and they come out as being one of those things, the school celebrates it as a success. I mean, it's if there was a clear agenda going on, then that is it. So it didn't surprise me at all. Sorry, mate.
Are you seeing the picture?
No, I see Kirk. I see about 6 Kirks. One me.
You've had too much to drink. I thought I clicked screen sharing.
Yeah, it's saying you're trying to present something that.
All right, hold on. Present. Oh wow, that's trippy. Present. Whee! Well, that's really cool. I think I better press this big stop button. Alrighty, back to normality. Should we try that again?
Yeah, give it a go, mate.
Give that a go. I can only get better.
Right, here we go. Oh, it's in English this time, right? Internet Explorer. I don't know why it's doing that. Are you seeing echoing?
Yeah, well, yeah, a repeat of the same screen.
Yeah. I wonder why it's doing that. That's strange.
Another hangout that we're trying to present. Normally, actually, it does that and then comes up with what we're trying to present.
Yeah. I've got the stuff sitting on tabs. I'll try one of the other ones. See-through perception. Are you seeing anything?
Yeah. Well, I'm seeing it now,
Yeah, that's quite scary, isn't it?
Yeah, that's quite bad. Oh my God.
So
That's the new normal.
yeah, they used to say that pink was a guy's colour, and it became a girl's colour, you know. And you're like,
That's
well,
it.
Seen them saying quite a lot about it.
say again, Kirk?
Seen them saying quite a lot about pink recently. Not just the colour,
Pink? In what way?
in the artist.
Singer.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't heard anything about her.
No, just saying about being maybe one of those transgenders.
Oh, I've been hearing those stories. Yeah, that seems to be a new thing recently, doesn't it? Transgender in the celebrity world. I'm not sure what to make
Obama's
of
a
it.
man, you mean? Oh shit, I better not do that. Last person that said that died, didn't they? I'm going to put this light on. Scotland, it's probably getting dark here quicker, but you know, the sun goes down. Oh no, it's the east it goes down, so it should get, is it getting dark where you're in Penzance?
The sun doesn't go down.
The sun doesn't go down.
The sun goes away.
The sun goes away. There's a good subject.
There's not very much darkness about it anyway, so
it's not dark for very long, is it? It's only like 3 hours or something.
yeah. So it's coming over us quick.
You know that there was the balloon launch last week, the week before, down at Greta.
Yeah.
So we went along. It didn't launch, but it was a good weekend. It was a good laugh. A lot of people sitting around, and there's a 2-hour video on it actually on the on YouTube, Flat Earth UK page.
I watched a bit of that. I was looking for you.
So I heard you both at once there. Adam, Leigh.
That's my brother. Yeah. No, I was going to say, I watched a bit of it. I was skipping through it. Were you on it? Did they interview you?
No, I wasn't on it. No.
Oh, that's a
I
shame.
think the interviews were done at night. We went there at night. We only went from like 10 in the morning till I think it was 5 in the afternoon, something like that.
Oh, gotcha. What is it that they're trying to find by doing the balloon launch? I know it sounds a silly question, but we've seen footage from balloons already, haven't we? We know it's a flat horizon. What was it they were specifically looking for when they did it?
Well, the thing is, see, when you watch anything on YouTube, I mean, anything can be faked. If you send a balloon up yourself and then look at the footage that you've taken with your own camera.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, so they were collecting their own empirical evidence. Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah.
I've got you.
You know they did the Samuel Robotham one as well, the Bedford level.
No, I didn't know they'd done that. Did the results come out all right?
No, the canal's changed a bit since then.
Oh, they do
Got a
it
big
the
bump
same
in
one,
it.
right?
It's got a big bump in it. I'm only kidding. No, it's got a lot of reeds and things in it, so the line of sight was a problem.
Right.
The clarity of the day, the amount of alcohol they'd had. there's quite a few factors that caused problems. The batteries only lasted 3 hours, and it took Matt, I think his name was, 6 hours to row the length of the 6 miles or whatever it was. So, yeah. But no, it's good that people are trying these experiments. And you know yourself, Leigh, Kirk won't know about this. Or he might do, he might have seen it on the page. I phoned the Daily Mirror the other day.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Did you see that? Did you listen to the phone call, yeah?
Yeah, I did. It was a good shot.
And it's like, that woman, did she not go to like journalist school to become a journalist? Is that not what she wanted to be? You've got somebody saying they're a flat earther. Now, if they are just crazy, then that's fine. But what if they're not? What if there's actually a really good story there? And even if she doesn't believe it, surely she should be impartial. And she should be impartial. There's the word.
Yeah. She really wasn't interested, was she? She stated that she'd put it up with a bit of a sort of laugh sort of thing. I don't think she actually. I think you were the last person she was expecting to get in contact.
I can't talk to you. I'm in my work. I am phoning you about your work. It's like if I had a pair of trousers and I'm phoning a retail store about that pair of trousers, that's what I'm phoning them about. I'm phoning a newspaper about a story in the newspaper. So I can't talk to you about this. I'm at my work. Ah.
It's like the way she said it. It's like, I just like the article sort of thing. Yeah, that's the whole point. That's what I'm going to talk to you about it, you know.
I need to change that picture that comes up of me when I mute the camera. With my double chin. I need to get rid of that. I'm glad there's no one watching while I'm saying that.
You've got a triple chin, do that.
It's getting bigger.
It is, definitely. So, yeah, so there's flat.
Yeah.
We agreed? You agree with us on that one, Kirk, yeah?
No.
Yeah.
Leigh doesn't agree because he's just...
No, I'm not a flat earther, but that's only because to me, it's definitely not a spinning ball, a giant spinning ball in space. I mean, that's pretty clear.
Agreed.
But to me, that doesn't automatically mean it's flat. I'm much more of the view that I don't know for sure. And that's the position that I take with it. I just don't know. So I wouldn't class myself as a flat earther. Although I understand there's a lot of empirical evidence that suggests that it is flat to an extent. But there's no concrete proof for me that it is flat in the way that we're told.
Where we're staying, I'd say the empirical proof is where we are staying in the lands and where the water is that we are staying on is flat. And out with that, anything that anyone's saying out with something like that is wrong. We've no proof of anything really.
I don't know it's flat either. I know it's not a ball. I know it's not spinning. I know we're not going round the moon while we go round the sun, while we go through the space at a gillion miles an hour. But I was of the view when maybe a few months after learning about the flat Earth that what if it's a really, really big ball? You know, a ball 10 times the size, maybe the size of the sun. You know what I mean? What if it's that size? Then the curvature wouldn't show. Then if you looked over so far.
But then it wouldn't matter.
It can't be a ball.
It wouldn't matter what size it is, it still would never work. It's never going to be that. Regardless of what size you make it, it's still never going to be a ball.
Definitely.
And I just can't ever believe the idea that there's a landmass beneath us, upside down, with people living upside down. It just, no. It's just,
when I talk to my nephew on the phone, he's foot to foot with me. Yeah, he's down there. You're like, oh, how you doing?
And I thought about this. Let's say it is a ball, and there are people living upside down. Now, let's say there wasn't. Well, okay, no. They say there is a molten core and all the rest of it, but let's say there isn't, and you can actually dig. When you're digging down, at what point
does it become up?
Yeah, can you imagine that in your head? You're digging. When does it flip over for you? You know, it's just no, it's not going to work.
And then does it get harder or does it get easier?
Well, yeah, you're pushing up and down.
You have to get scaffolding to build your way up the other half.
And that's a very interesting point because we know gravity in the sense that we're told gravity isn't what we're taught it is. We know it's to do with density and buoyancy. We can establish that much. So in that case, then, if it was a ball, but gravity is just density and buoyancy, again, when you're digging down, well, there wouldn't be a gravitational pull like they tell us from the centre. So again, are you going to drop out the other hole, or what the fuck's going to happen?
Yeah, I think at this point we've established that nothing in the globe actually works for real, and it is just a belief, and we were just all totally conned. But what it is, I don't know. We just don't know, and it's like Dell sort of said as well. Until either more people get away, we get real exploration, or they actually come out and admit some things, I think we're going to be struggling to find out anything really more than what we know.
Well, what I would like to know is, why are people like Richard Branson, Elon Musk, why are they spending billions rockets?
Because,
If
well,
the rockets just go.
Well, I would say it's probably because the billions that they spend is a fraction of the money they receive. So they've got to be seen to be spending some of it to keep the rest of it coming in. I'd imagine the profits are huge, even though they're spending billions. The amount that they've got coming in. I mean, the same with NASA. I mean, we know how much money they're taking every single day. It's a good business model. And at the end of the day, space is a mathematical model, and they can make anything work using maths, but it's not reality.
Well, I'm sure you've seen the same video. I've seen Leigh. I'm not sure about you, Kirk. Where the head of NASA at the Senate in America, and he was saying about, we've got 7 missions left of the shuttle, and then we're decommissioning the shuttle. It won't get used after that. Okay. And he says, so what are you going to do with the money? You went, well, there's lots of things we could do. We could go to such and such. We could go to Mars. We could go to this other place. But they didn't actually have something they said that they are going to do. They said we could do these things, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, we're going here. We're doing this. We're taking up this satellite. We're taking up. We're going to take food up to the ISS, or we're going to see the ISS. Yeah, you'd need a submarine to get to that, wouldn't you?
Everything huge and just massively fantastical. It's always going to happen within the next 40 years. Since I've been a kid, I've been waiting on these things happening, and then it came and nothing's came true yet. We're just getting pushed further into the next generation, and then the next generation, and it's just getting a joke now.
I've sent a link to Ken, but he's not joined us yet. I was kind of hoping he would have joined us by now. It's okay, we're on conspiracies. We know that the Earth's flat. That's there's not anywhere we can say that anymore. So I mean, I've spent 2 years watching videos on it, and you can't go anywhere with it. You've got P900, you can see for miles and miles and miles. Nothing proves it until you can actually go up to 100 miles up and have a wee look, you know what I mean? If you can get 100 miles up.
Yeah.
So, what would you like to take it to now?
Go wherever you want to go today.
Well, we were on NASA, so we could slag NASA for a wee while if you like, because that would probably get us kicked off YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this.
I was going to watch. There was a 9 or some Falcon 9 launch or something the other day. Popped up on my newsfeed. I was going to watch that, but it was still about an hour and 56 minutes. It was on the countdown, still going. I was like, bollocks to that.
Was it Falcon 9?
Yeah, the SpaceX launch. That was fascinating when they were showing that footage. As soon as it goes up, they cut the camera angle just to show its rockets at the back. So all you see is the flame coming out. And that's supposed to be in space. And then when it comes down to land, all the lights go out. And then they come back on, and it's there on the ground. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, wonderful.
They always cut the same footage. They showed you the camera pointing at the engine that they took for the engine test, where the hood of the rocket goes to glowing red. It's the same every time you see.
Yeah, and
Brilliant.
why couldn't they put a camera looking down at the Earth as it goes up into orbit, into space, so it's watching the Earth the whole time, and you see it getting smaller and smaller. And then in the case of SpaceX with the Falcon, you then would obviously flip round as it comes back towards Earth, and you could watch the whole thing. But they never do anything like that, and it can't be because of cost, because like I've already said, they've got all the money in the world. They could easily produce something like that. But then we've got the other problem now. Technology has advanced so much that if they suddenly did come out with that footage, could we actually believe it? This is the situation we're in, because they could fake that now if they really wanted to. Which also begs the question why they haven't, which is a bit odd, because you would have thought they'd have done something by now to sort of try and prove everyone wrong, well, prove the disbelievers wrong.
Yeah.
But they're still relying on the old methods of tricking people by just repeating the same things over and over again, showing the same inconclusive footage, and using the same mathematical formula to keep everyone quiet and stop them questioning. But they could do so much more. They could make it so much more. The con could be so much more advanced, but they don't bother. And I guess because it works so well, how they do it now.
Are you seeing the CGI that we're getting shown here?
I think they have moved it on a little bit, because they've not just recently released 360 from the ISS or something. Remember, after all the fuss and hype about it.
Oh,
Well, this is the thing. It should be. Now the technology is advancing. I mean, when I set this up, it offered me to do a 360-degree video of this hangout. So, but you can't get a 4K 360-degree from a rocket or shuttle or. I'm just trying to get this video to play, but it's not a video; it's a picture.
I love the flat videos. They're brilliant. They're just totally the most useless things I've ever seen.
Sorry, I missed that, Kirk.
I'm saying I love the flat on it that they use.
The
If you
flat.
see the flaps in the rocket that they use, I think they're brilliant. The most useless things ever.
The flap.
Aye, the flaps that they're using, the extended fins that they're using at the base of the rocket.
Oh, to help it land.
Yeah.
Aye.
I'm just like, oh my god.
Aye, stop it falling over.
Yeah.
Let's Okay. Stop that. Hold on. There we go. Right. Yeah, I mean, where can NASA go now? Now they're talking about a mission to Mars. I don't know if you know about this guy. I think Leigh does. Elon Musk got the guy who designed Iron Man's suit to design the spaceman suit to go to Mars. A CGI puppet, whatever you want to call him, artist, CGI artist, I suppose.
He'd be the best person to design your spacesuits, because you don't want to go to the engineers who actually maybe have a bit of a clue, because they'll make it look a bit drab. So you don't really want to ask them. I would have went for the Iron Man costume designer as well, really.
I saw when NASA were doing the spacesuits for the Apollo mission. There was a video and it showed this guy, and he went into the vacuum chamber that they've got at NASA, and he had the suit and hoses and everything. He had to go up these stairs, and he went up, and one of the hoses came loose.
Yeah.
And the guy described it as his sweat started to boil, and then he passed out. And literally within 8 to 10 seconds or something like that from this was coming off, this guy's skin started to boil, and he had to get oxygen into the chamber. So these space guys are really brave, and they just got there, and it's like the risk of the slightest wee thing going wrong and you're dead. It's not a case of like, you trip over there, you might hurt yourself, you're dead.
They don't use it back then, isn't it?
Have you noticed that the astronauts are probably the most stupid, dumb people that you've ever met? Now, they're supposed to go through a selection process through thousands, and the ones that are chosen are supposed to be the elite. These guys are supposed to have the best knowledge ever. Now, when you hear them on their interviews and they're answering questions that have been asked by children, adults, on any kind of news channel, the answers that they give are so retarded. It's ridiculous. These people aren't intelligent, and of course, I guess that's the general idea. You want to pick people who are going to take the payoff. You want the people who are going to take a few $100,000 to disappear for a few weeks whilst they claim they're on the ISS and do a few sort of warehouse-based videos, and take part in the CGI and all the rest of it, because you don't want the actual elite of society, the most intelligent, to be part of that, because they're going to come from very well-off backgrounds anyway. They don't need a payoff.
No.
So the people that they pick, I can imagine, like was it Tim? Oh, what's his surname? The English one. That's it. Yeah, him. I mean, there's a fraudster if ever you've seen one. And of course, they're all supposed to be involved as Freemasons as well, aren't they? They're all signed into it. They're all sworn into it.
Can I interrupt just quickly? With Tim Peake. In fact, hold on. Let's find it and let's show it. Remember when he went he went up into space, and he got he was talking to, I think it was the BBC, and they asked him to do a backflip.
Right.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
Hold on, I'm just.
Did he get tangled in his wires?
No, the wires snapped. I don't know if this is the cut version or the uncut version. So let's pause that. Also complicated this. Okay, you got that?
Yep.
So they asked him to do a backflip. That sound. Oh, that's fine.
Rocket, or a phenomenal machine so powerful, such as smooth launch, and then arrival on board the International Space Station and adapting to this weightless environment and being able to go to the cupola and
look at the roof.
Amazing view
Look
of
up here.
It's way beyond my expectations. Well, the first 24 hours is pretty rough. Every time you turn a corner or move your head, looking up and down, left and right, your ears, your vestibular system is sending signals to the brain that doesn't really match your eye.
Here we go.
Practice makes perfect. Give me another one.
Okay, give me another. We'll have another wee look at that, shall we?
I definitely haven't.
There's nothing that's here, is there?
How bad
Well done. Slow-mo. He dropped.
Oh, well. There's no master where his
Centre.
balances and harness.
Very centered balances, that's right. So, there we go. Cool. Slowly getting the hang of this, being able to bring in me things now. I know what I need to do.
You just love when you look at the inside of the ISS, how very professionally built it is.
It's ridiculous. All those wires, right? You're floating around, those wires are there. Come on, I'm clumsy in my own house, and there's no wires and that hanging off the walls, and guaranteed if there was wires like that, I would be catching them all the time.
I thought they've got my local East Lothian council building company to do the work in there. That's what it looks like.
That's actually the next mission of the Flat Earth UK. They're meeting up in Cornwall with Wakey Wakey. Very good website, by the way. YouTube, check out Wakey Wakey and Flat Earth UK. They're going to build the the lunar lander.
Well, yeah.
You know, the one we've all seen the pictures of with the shower curtain rails and the silver oil and stuff. So they're saying to people, come along to the camp, bring what you want, what rubbish you want, and we'll make a space lander out of it.
I think that's brilliant.
That is excellent, by the way. I mean, if you can't be, take the piss out of them. So, yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Seems to be shot.
The other one was back on NASA. Well, still with NASA. The one from the 80s, and it was wow. There was a shot, the satellite coming out the doors on the back. What'd you say?
The shoulder.
Aye, when it was open. So this thing's rotating and lifting up. And there's a guy's face behind it. You can see the guy's face behind the model. Eh? You just have a wee chat, I'll go and look for it.
Right. That's excellent. I think I meant there's some quality ones. I've actually, I think, a few new recruits at work.
Hi,
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm good.
Cool, you're live on YouTube.
What are you talking about? Fire.
Right.
I like fire.
Good lad.
The earth isn't round by
Brilliant. The education is strong with this one.
Yeah, they certainly like how to ask questions. I think I've got a couple at work going as well. One of the young laddies for day shift who's came on at nights to give people a hand out asked, he was speaking to his dad about it for 2.5 hours, they said, in work, him and his dad talking about flat earth. And one of the other guys came in and he started asking questions. So I think there's 2 or 3 or 4 at work now, hopefully going that way. Oh, you don't want to go wait and get a couple. Right.
Right, sorry guys, I'm back. I was trying to set up that video I was talking about. I've just gone and found it. Enjoy this, if you've not seen it.
All right. 20 minutes.
Why is it not playing? Oh, it says it's playing. See the guy's face here?
Yeah.
Nose, his eye, nose. So apparently there's Nephilim giants in space.
Brilliant.
Mentally.
There's just too much now to cover.
You were getting onto the Freemasons thing, Leigh. I mean, back to London Bridge, Westminster. I mean, look at the helicopter that was sitting in Westminster Square with the what do you call them? The Freemasons logo on it. And
the compass, yeah.
And there's so much. I mean, a lot of people don't know about gematria. But I don't know a lot about it, but what I've learned is they use numbers instead. They change certain meanings from numbers, you know, and dates, and 322 and stuff like that, and 33, 66, stuff like that, you know.
But why is it they actually use that? They seem to be like the old events. It was like that one. So there was something there seen in it, and you know, an event happened at a certain time and 30 years later to the exact date on these dates and all links with geometry are the same thing that happened and this is when this one started and all that. But why do they actually just why are they using all these sort of dates and symbolism and that?
What I think is they like to put it in your face, but they can't be blatant. They can't come out and say, listen, drive a car across Westminster Bridge, pretend we've killed some people, get a guy to jump out and go stab up a policeman, then we'll shoot him.
Yeah.
So they have to be discreet. Now,
I can see it from that point of view. You see it on films, adverts, all these flag events, but there's specific events that happen in history, and then they follow up with the same sort of event, and it's all tied up geometrically. You know, we're using these numbers and symbols and whatever. So they're using them for a specific reason, not just to have it in our face. There's something that isn't just a case of they just use it for themselves. They make out that they're something that they're not really. They use all this to basically an illusion. On top of an illusion to make it they've got amazing.
But then you're talking about the Matrix and stuff, yeah.
Well, I just think that they're making out that they know something maybe, or they use these things that they've got more knowledge and they're using it for a reason. But actually, maybe there's no any reason, and it's actually just bullshit.
Leigh, what about you? Have you seen much on the number stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's clear, like you just said, there are some numbers that are important to them. But I think some of the research I've seen, to me, it just seems to delve a little bit too deeply in it. Where some of these numbers are actually obtained from, it's kind of like, well, you can really make it work if you want to. You can pick numbers from anywhere, cherry picking numbers.
Yeah.
But I think for the main ones that they use, it seems to me it's almost like a nod to each other when they use them, because obviously these people are based all over the world, and yeah, I think it's a nod to one another when it happens.
You can't phone them up and say, listen, we've done that job now. If you watch the news, you'll see it.
That's it, yeah. It's a code, isn't it? We did this. This was us. This was our group. This was our faction of the group. To everyone else, but that would make the most sense to me. But yeah, I think when I think when people do study it, they do go a little bit too deeply, and I think that kind of it throws people off the track a little bit. I think it's a case of simple and straightforward. They've got the main numbers, and that's what they're using them for. But it's just my opinion, because I've not looked into it too deeply. But
see, when they come out, I mean, as soon as something happens now, I instantly look at the amount of people either dead or injured. And you look at those numbers, and there's always something in the numbers. Yeah. And it's not a case of I've added 7, 9, 16. You know, I mean, just sitting, you're looking, it's like 33 people injured. I'm sorry, that's just a wee bit too coincidental, you know what I mean? There's a lot of numbers out there.
Oh, I'd agree. Yeah. Actually, it was like what Leigh's saying. I think it's more of a calling card to all members of the clan or whatever, just to let them know that was a job done.
Do you remember on 9/11 when they cleared away all the debris and everything, got rid of all the evidence to China, and they had the big hole in the ground, the tub? They had a meeting down there. And all the people that met up in this meeting met up in the shape of the Eye of Horus.
Yeah.
Really?
Brilliant.
They all see it.
They set up the museum or something in that one trade centre or something. It's got like the 2 pillars, aluminium cladding or something. So outside it's like 2 tripods that looks like a Nimrod over.
Is it flammable?
As you walk into it.
Sorry. Yeah, it's okay. You got it, Leigh.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Oh, dear.
I have to draw attention, by the way. Listen, it's a wee bit off subject, but see my right, hold on, it's this way, right? See this thing here, this white thing?
Yeah.
Right. That's I changed my, because I had a stupid picture. I changed it. It's actually from Sky News tonight. It's, both pictures are Theresa Mayhem. I can't actually remember what the headlines were, but I thought it was quite appropriate. So.
I've not got any pictures of that. It's the first thing I've been on there.
How did we play about with it earlier? I mean, it's... Where's the music coming from? Am I making music here, or one of you playing music?
It's not me.
Oh dear, what's happened?
When you have links,
Too many links open.
Picking if you're picking up.
Right. We're getting exciting music now. Oh my God, no!
That's for you.
Right, guys, I'm going to have to love you and leave you. I'm being summoned, but are we going to do this next week as well? We do it each week.
Yeah, I think what we should do is just set it up as the way we did it tonight and just go live, because that try to set it up, it's asking for an encoder and that, and it's a bit complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries, man. Okay, guys, right, I'll speak to you later. Right.
All right, mate.
Okay,
Cheers. See you later, guys. Cheers.
See you later, mate. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. What were we saying there before?
Oh, just about all the numbers in the geometry.
Aye. So I mean, there's loads of, you know, and people just take it. They watch the news, don't they? And they go, "Wow, these people got killed. These people got injured." You know, they don't actually think there can be more to it. And if you imply there's more to it, you're
Totally loopy.
aye.
Definitely police. It's definitely one of those things. We don't need anybody policing us. We just need to mention something out with consensus, and people are putting us down or ridiculing you or trying to cast you out for society or something.
Aye. Well,
But mate, I'm going to go now and get into these kids and see what they're up to.
I need to get mine to bed as well, because the wee one's still up. Doesn't matter if Matthew's still up, but she's still up. So, better not do that on YouTube. I'll get in trouble.
I'm sure they'll probably go to their laptop to watch a film or something like that. But we're the first one anyway, so we'll talk during the week of that and sort something out for the next time.
Aye. And Ken will join us. He's keen to join us. I don't know, maybe he took the laptop out and it never worked right or something. So.
No problem.